On the surface, you might think that the model minority isn't such a bad thing. I mean, what's wrong with seeing Asian Americans as the perfect minority? Let me tell you why. It's a form of gaslighting. Here's the truth. Asians in America have the widest income disparity of any racial group in the country. In other words, we have some of the most impoverished populations. Asians, especially from Southeast Asian countries like Cambodia and Laos, experience some of the lowest high school graduation rates in this country. Asians, despite often having more education and credentials than their white counterparts, hit a bamboo ceiling when it comes to being in leadership positions. Asians don't earn as much as their white counterparts, even when they have more experience or more education than their white counterparts. Asians are also less likely to be diagnosed with mental health challenges, and so their mental health needs are less likely to be seen and met. Even researchers who claim to be looking at the mental health of minorities often only research Black and Latinx communities, excluding Asians, pretending that we don't have any problems. The truth is this: suicide is the 8th leading cause of death for Asian Americans, whereas it is the 11th leading cause of death for all racial groups combined. Asian women in particular experience some of the highest suicide rates, especially in pivotal time periods in our life, like young adulthood. Physical abuse and family violence are more likely to occur in Asian American Pacific Islander communities, with 3/4 of Southeast Asian teens having witnessed violence in their communities and almost half having been a victim of violence themselves. Hollywood has used yellowface, the Asian equivalent to blackface. Asian men are the least desirable demographic for dating, while Asian women are objectified and fetishized, sometimes resulting in violent consequences, such as the Atlanta spa shootings of 2021. With anti-Asian sentiment resurging because of racist responses to COVID-19, the nation is recognizing that hate crimes against Asians do exist. Well, hate crimes have existed against us since we arrived in this country. In fact, the largest mass lynching in U.S. history was of Asians. And, of course, no one was convicted of any crime. The model minority myth is bad for Asians because it denies our reality. It prevents us from seeking help when we need it, because we internalize the belief that we are supposed to be unrealistically perfect. And those around us who buy into the model minority myth don't notice us when we are in need of help. The model minority myth is bad for other communities of color because it pits us against each other instead of helping us to recognize our shared suffering and our shared fight for justice. The model minority myth is also bad for white folks who continue to live under lies and who are prevented from having genuine, real connections with Asian Americans who indeed bring a diversity and wealth of resilience, strength, beauty, and wisdom to this country.